Hello again. This is the second part of me basically retorting to articles posted on Game Rant about Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. So if you'd like, the first was uploaded yesterday, at least I hope so, assuming this hasn't been delayed, and you might want to look at that one before this one. You don't need to, and there is no context aside from a more complete introduction into the video, but it is worth noting, hence the part 2 of 2 in the title. So now we're on to the second article, and I'm recording this all in one sitting, both articles, just reacting to it, by the way. So the first point he has here, number 10, is auto battle. I don't see why he should be surprised. The auto battle thing has been around since at least Shin Megami Tensei 1. In this version, you can actually turn it off and on with the click of a button. You couldn't do that in Shin Megami Tensei 1, at least the version I played. Number 9, the worst. Number 10 was the best. He liked the auto battle feature. Number 9 is worst. They don't like random battles. I disagree. I think that random battles add a lot more to the atmosphere of this game than if those avoidable ones like in 4 did. I remember a video about how they wish I remember a video about when Nocturne was first announced in HD Remaster, and someone was wishing they would replace the random battle mechanic with avoidable ones, more like the ones in Shin Megami Tensei 4. I disagree with it. I still disagree with it. I like how we have random battles in this game. He himself admits this is ultimately a small gripe, though he compares it to just being an old RPG. I disagree. I think that whichever you prefer, random battles or avoidable battles, is subjective, and that like any mechanic, it ultimately will depend on whether or not it benefits or hurts the game. I prefer random battles still. Number 10. The next one, number 8. Best terminal transportation. Okay, it's a best, and its basic point is that it's something unique in that you get a fast travel feature fairly early in the game, whereas something like the zoom in whichever one I mentions here and fly in Pokemon you get pretty later. I wouldn't exactly call fly you get late in Pokemon anymore. 7 generations, you gotta in the last game that ever aired, Gen 7 with Sun and Moon, there is no Gen 8 with Dexit around. I refuse to acknowledge a Pokemon game with Dexit. You still got it pretty early. I think it was before you even left the first island, if I'm remembering right. But yeah, you still get it pretty early, because you get it at roughly the first town you visit, or no. What happens is that you go to the first town, you go to the terminal, you are put in and enter into the network, and fast travel is unlocked once you exit the Amala network. Yeah, that's it. Why was I so? The next one is a worst. Saving. Okay, I went through this a lot in the last one. So just to reiterate, I think that the Q-Save feature is a fair compromise for if you are in a rush, you have to do something or have to turn it off or something, and you're away from a terminal, but keeping how the terminals work as is a very purposeful way to have difficulty. I don't know why this guy is so against this. So yeah, there's nothing really new for me to add. The article I'm reading right now is 2 days older than the one I did this first on, by the way. So yeah, it just doesn't really feel it. Number 6 best is Dante. No surprise there, it was a meme featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry. It was a little meme about this game for years. This part just feels like it's a free commercial for the DLC that includes Dante. So, which if you don't know, this is literally just that. I'm not sure how this is a feature of the game. It also says that he's an optional character. That's not true. You have to battle him in the first boss fight, as I recall, but it is optional to fight and recruit him later if you do the Labyrinth of Amala. I question what they mean when they say that's optional though, because you do need to do it to get the true demon ending. So the next is main character design. Once again, the final point he had on the last list that I did, and the one that comes after this, was that he didn't like the design. He found it goofy. I disagree. Weird. Weird is a term he uses to describe it in this part of the article, and I think that is a much more fitting description than goofy. So yeah, he doesn't like the design. That is again subjective. I think that this design is fine. I do see where he is coming from. He doesn't. What's strange is that he doesn't mention the horn on his neck. In fairness, when I first saw it, I thought that was just part of his hairstyle or something. But no, that is actually the horn. This also says his name is Naoki Kashima, based off of CD. That is not true. He's a silent protagonist who does not have a canon name. I think the only silent protagonist in mainline to have a canon name is Flynn, which is just the default name. So, number 4, best, focused on gameplay. Okay, not much to say here. I don't think that he gets anything terribly wrong. Just says that if you love the monster catching nature of the battles and focus on combat, then you don't have to worry because the big scenes that drive the plot are few and far between when compared to Persona. Again, this guy compares it to Persona. I actually don't think he's done that in this article and the one he writes after, which is actually pretty nice, but yeah, that's actually all I really have to say on it. And number 3, the worst, vague directions. This is a strangely worded worst because Nocturne will not hold the player's hand in terms of what they do next. That's a quote from this article. That genuinely sounds like a positive, and yet he's actually framing it as a negative. Maybe he means it differently. Maybe there's a disconnect in how I'm interpreting it and how he meant to come across it. The last thing here, yeah, thankfully this game is over for 2 decades long. Plenty of guides online to help those in need. Again, this is not a big deal. Some of these are pretty questionable. Number 2, best, the spherical world. So, yeah, a spherical world makes it unique. Not really much to say here. This is just a blind praise for it, in fact. You know what, I think that it's worth praise. Sure, I'll give him this one. And the number 1 worst is plain dungeons. Oh boy, do I heavily disagree with this point. Okay, he says dungeon design is a bore. I disagree. Some of them can look a bit samey, I'll admit, but well, I mean the walls and floors. I'm not sure why that's such a big deal, but I disagree that they are in any way uncreative. I mean, Kabukicho Prison will literally turn upside down if you walk into a mirror. A lot of the areas are meant to look like they were redesigned suburban areas that have been taken over after they've been abandoned. Um, the diet building. The diet building is fantastic. It's so creative. It's actually my favorite dungeon in the franchise in this series in not the franchise of series. It's one of them. It's my favorite in Nocturne. I'm sorry that slipped. I am not going to edit this stuff out. I am keeping this as is to keep it straight. Um, there was more I wanted to say, and I can't remember it, so I'll just leave it as that. Um, Nocturne has a great dungeon design, and I'm not sure what he's asking for here. Is he asking for something that doesn't belong in Shin Megami Tensei, but feels at home in Persona like his first article did? I don't really know. Uh, it seems like a good place to end, really. And that's my retorts to both articles. I apologize for the stuttering. I swear I am getting better at it. I no longer stutter as much as I used to. This was a lot more fun and easy than I thought it would be going in, so I might do more of this in the future. Uh, that's basically it. I'm not sure what I can leave off with, so I'm just going to end this here. Uh, there is, of course, the concern with the watermarks. That is the free software I'm using, Wondershare Filmora, which just has this because I'm using the free version. I plan on getting the licensed one fairly soon. So I apologize if you didn't like that, but it won't last long. Um, have a nice day.